Alright, we need one big door, so we found two small doors. We're going to glue them together, seal up this opening I got in the house. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Now my fence I've intentionally set out as square to demonstrate a technique you can use to make sure your boards go together smoothly. Let's say we want this finished portion of this scrap wood to be the top, the unfinished the back. What I'm going to do is on one of these I'm going to write fence, okay, and that's going to tell me that that face needs to go up against the fence. On the other one I'm going to write operator. That tells me that this face needs to face the operator. Intentionally set the fence at an angle just to show you that if your fence isn't, you know, you might think it's 90 degrees, but let's say it's half a degree off. If you label it and orient the board as such, it won't matter, because the half degree off will cancel each other out if you orient the boards correctly. The compromise is you got to think about grain direction a little more this way, but just something to take note of. Oh. So I did this edge already on that small joiner over there, just because it's an older joiner, the blade, you know, it's not super well kept. It's for roughing. We're going to use this one for fine work. I just didn't want to run my nice helical head on old paints and finishes. Right there, I got a flashlight underneath these tables, and so you can see that light passing through, and it's a pretty steady gap down. So the gap's probably caused because these are such big doors, it's hard for me to perfectly hold them vertical as we run it through. So I'm just going to experiment with my technique a few more times and see if I can get it much closer than it is now. If not, then I'll figure out some sort of like jig or support system to use. So we've opted to use dowel joints here. So we're going to do a bunch of these all the way down. To do so, we're going to start by marking where we want those located. So I'm just going to use my straight edge here. Slide it down, and I don't know, every 6 to 8 inches I'm going to go ahead and mark where I want one of those connecting dowel rods. So let's see if we can skip over. I'm just going to transfer this line over across the face to help me set up my jig. Do that all the way down to all of these on both sides. Using the Dowel-it jig. Alright, and it's a self-centering jig, which is good since our doors are kind of different thicknesses, and we're okay with that. But what I've done with these transferred lines, you can look through this window. I'm lining it up with 3/8 because I'm going to use a 3/8 inch dowel rod. And then I'm going to look from above as well. And through that window, you should be able to see like a little engraved tick mark on the jig. Line that up with your pencil mark. Tighten this T-handle right here. Alright, and once you're content, then what you're going to do is drill the depth of the jig plus half of this. So this is a 1.5 inch dowel rod. So I'm gonna go 3/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna grab a piece of tape that, and then I know where to stop drilling. This one I'm just gonna look from above and line it up. And actually, it shouldn't matter because it's a self-centering jig, but because my windows were on the top over there, I want my windows on the top of this door. Just to be consistent. So then I can look through the window, line up my 3/8 hole again, look above, use that T-handle, tighten it up. Watch as he tightens. When you start tightening things, other things begin to move, so just be cautious. And I've got my tape drill bit here. Should drill it at the appropriate depth. And I'm gonna go ahead and drill that. Now, when I take that jig off, and I fold these down, top up, fold that down, top up. Alright, if I did everything correctly, I don't know if I did. I can put that dowel rod in there. Should be able to put this one in here. Should still line up with our first one. And it looks like I didn't drill the hole deep enough. See that gap? So I'm going to move that tape a little bit further back and just drill a little deeper on both sides. Just take your personal credit card and use that to record a video and put on YouTube. And I just use that to paint the glue on. Here, I'll get the other face so you can see. I just put a thin layer on both faces. You got armchair engineers who will debate the best way to do glue. Just do it. That's all I gotta say. Quickly, you know, don't take your time, it'll dry. And then when it comes to the dowel rods, I just kind of dip them and roll them. I'm not afraid to get glue on my fingers like some people. Not judging, just saying. And then I just stick it right in there in that dowel rod. And like right now there's way too much glue there, so I'm gonna spread it out a little bit more. And there you go. That's how you do it. Although I gotta put that in the other hole, otherwise I already put one on that side. And just work your way down. Hopefully you did your dry fit so you know everything works. Try not to be as messy with the glue as I am, but I touch a bottle of glue and it's all over me. So just cost doing business. So I got the glue. So now I'm just putting this together. And check out this glue table. All it is a table with notches cut into it, specifically for this style of clamp, which makes this job a lot easier. I'm almost cheating. But now that we have that glued together, alright, I can take these clamps, and get everything straightened up. Just these quick cuts here. Seems like all I should have to do is come over here now and tighten this stuff just a little bit. Tight pressure. Get everybody on their way home. Not much further. Check it again. Now, mostly on a large glue up like this, you'd use what's called cawls, which would go over the top and bottom, and then you clamp them down to make sure everything's tight. I'm taking a gamble here. I'm trusting my dowels will help keep things aligned, and the doors are relatively flat to begin with. Alright, and then remember when you send one of them on the way home, it might bring the other one back. Not really, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I've got some pressure. We call that squeeze out. I don't know, you can have a little, you can have a lot. I don't recommend having a lot, but just make sure that when it comes to something like this, people will be like, you put too much torque on it, you put not enough torque. What I do, especially if it's something I don't know, I haven't done this a million times to know. I just take the law of averages of what I've heard and I apply it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting a little bit of, I guess, balancing pressure. And this should give us our whole door assembly. This is going to go on a sliding track. And we're going to cut it to size once the glue's dry. And should be good to go. That's all I got for you on how to do this, I guess, or whatever. No, throw it up. I'm not afraid of first feedback. You want to speak something in the comments? Alright, we need one big door. So we found two small doors. We're going to glue them together, seal up this opening I got in the house.